Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Another set of growth. Get some harvesters started doing their thing, and then I'm going to sell some stuff at the train station. And see the excitement in my voice about it.
See the excitement?
Yeah. See it? It's that powerful. You don't just hear it. You see the excitement in my voice. It's crazy. Can't believe you don't like trains. Didn't you like trains as a kid? I just knocked a pickup truck over. Whoops.
I mean, I do. I really want like a model train set.
Do you hate?
I think that stems from Beetlejuice, though. I always loved that part of Beetlejuice where you had the whole little town.
But do you hate Maplefield Mill now because you didn't get a train set as a kid?
What?
Do you hate Maplefield Mill now because you didn't have a train set as a kid?
Yes, this is a deep-seated thing, really.
I mean, being deep-seated goes well along with this game as well.
Okay, good point. Good point. Did you fertilize this grass in between
yes.
each mow?
Yes.
Okay. Just curious.
Why are you not getting that much?
Oh no, I'm getting plenty. I just was curious if this was or was not a deep-seated grass growth.
It is a deep-seated grass growth for sure. So there's these ads that play on the radio out here for some, like, I don't know if it's for some bank or credit union or something of the sort, but they always have customer testimonials in the middle, like, oh, blah blah blah, they treat me so nicely, all that random bullshit that they always do in those ads. And the very last line of the ad says, customers pay for their participation. Like, real quick, out there. And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, what does that mean exactly?
What do you mean?
So it said customers paid for their participation. What does that mean?
That means they were paid to say nice things.
Does it mean that? Or does it mean they paid to participate in the commercial?
Oh. The customers paid.
Well, so I'm pretty confident that it's supposed to mean exactly what you said at the beginning, which is that they were paid, but it doesn't say customers were paid for their participation. It just says customers paid for their participation.
Can you imagine? Can I please be in your commercial?
Well,
I'll give you $100.
It almost just sounds like one of those things where how that's their their disclaimer, right? They only even put that in there as a disclaimer because it's probably illegal not to state that, customers got paid to participate. Like, these are paid testimonials.
Right.
But if you say it with ambiguity, does that really legally hold up in a court of law?
You're the only person that's questioning whether or not the customers were paid or did pay.
And it's funny because I heard that commercial a couple times and I thought the same thing, and I kept going, I gotta listen to that commercial again and see what exactly they said. And I heard it again this morning, and it said customers paid for their participation. There's no word "were" in there, or "got" or anything. It's just customers paid for their participation, and I just can't understand how that is something that's like acceptable. Oh, look, the place that's selling the sunflower for the highest right now is not Maplefield Mills. I get to go to
a second ago.
Gold Crest Pacific. It's actually not selling for that much. I'm tempted to hold off. Yeah, actually, I might drop it back in and go get the corn because this is one of our cash crops.
It's not grass.
That's true. It's not grass. But I mean, don't you think that that's something that somebody like Donald Trump would completely utilize to be like, no, that's not what I said.
I mean, the number of times he said, I didn't mean it because it was in quotes in my tweet is just ridiculous. So
I'm trying to really figure out if that's like a legal disclaimer. And people don't like it. People can, because they can argue all they want, just like I'm sure you're thinking in your mind right now, is obviously this is what they meant. But then think about things like, the right to bear arms. Isn't that the big argument about that amendment? Is people are saying, well, no, it was meant to be for this. And other people are like, no, but the letter of the law, it states I have a right to bear arms. And they're, no, it's supposed to be in war times, blah, blah, blah. Aren't those the two, like, arguments on that one?
I don't actually know what people argue about. To be honest, I really don't. I have stayed so far out of the gun argument stuff that I could not tell you what anyone has to say on that subject other than people want to have guns.
Some want guns and some don't.
Right.
That's the extent of your knowledge on the gun debate.
It really is. It really truly is. Because, like, I mean, for me, I think that people should be able to have guns. Like, if you want my opinion on it, I don't know anything about the laws, or I mean, I guess I know something about some things, but whatever. My opinion on it all is I think that people should be allowed to have guns. I'm fine with that. But I think that guns that are fully automatic assault rifles are not something that should be sold to the public.
But I mean, what's the difference with that type of gun versus a pistol?
I mean, you could still kill someone just as easily, but you can't kill masses of people as easily.
It just, how quick is your finger?
I mean, the women never complain.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think. I mean, I still feel like the primary use. I feel like what should be going on in your mind as the mindset of someone that's purchasing a gun is, how am I going to use this for sport or for hunting? And those are really the only two things. I think when people buy guns with the thought of, I might need this to kill someone, I just think that's unfortunate. I mean, I don't discredit people's need to protect their family or any of those type of things. I mean, you know, I'm someone that's had their house broken into while I was asleep here in the house. And would I have tried to shoot him if I had had a gun? No, I don't think so. And I think just as easily in those situations, you can have that same gun turned on you. So, I don't know.
See, I really...
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really don't have a stake in the gun debate either. I kind of agree with you that, you know, people want to have guns for like hunting or sport or protection or whatnot. Like there should definitely be limits on what guns people can buy. I was just curious on why your thought process on the assault rifle versus like a pistol, because I agree with that statement. There's no reason anybody should really have an assault rifle. You know, because that's just made to be a quote-unquote killing machine type of deal.
It's a military weapon, really, right?
But I was just curious what your side of that debate was, because I could easily see, like, if I was in a debate class, I think I could easily argue both sides of this debate.
Yeah. I took debate. I actually loved debate because I always thought I was really good. And I think I piss off people like this, where I'll argue a point I don't even agree with. And like they won't realize I'm doing that, but like I just want to just hear their argument against it, even when I agree with them.
Isn't that one of the points of a debate class? Aren't you?
Well, it is. It totally is.
Yeah, well, aren't they supposed to give you a point opposite of what you actually believe, just because you want to see your debating skills and like enhance those skills?
Well, not always. Like sometimes we would like draw out of a hat, like you're gonna be for, you're gonna be against, that sort of thing. So you wouldn't know ahead of time, like here's the subject, and you'd be told like a week ahead of time what the subject was, and then you could research the subject, and then the day of you would pull out the hat and you would find out then, are you for or against, and then you would have to debate. So you have to be knowledgeable on the subject to be able to debate either side prior.
The one debate class I had in high school, I think I was a sophomore or a junior, I don't remember. And this will tell you a lot about, people are going to probably get really mad at me in a minute, but it just tells you about how my mentality has changed a lot since then. They gave us the issue of homosexuality, and you had to choose a side of nature versus nurture. And it was just me and this one other student that were doing this together. So we had to come up together, which one are we going to debate? Is it going to be nature? Like, you're going to take nature, you're going to take nurture. Your concept being, are you born gay, or is it like from learned behavior? And she wanted to take nature, that you were born that way, and that it wasn't that you were, you know, trained to be gay or whatnot. And I wanted to take the opposite, that it was like all of upbringing, because I honestly back then believed that, because I was very not versed on the subject at all. And I remember going to this debate, and in my mind, I thought everybody had the exact same mindset as I did, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be such a joke! Like, I'm gonna slaughter this chick." And she was also not like top of the class by any means. She was like pretty low on the bottom of the class, actually. She destroyed me during this debate, and I don't even mean just because of like opinion in the class was already one direction. Like, she just slaughtered me in this debate. It was not her debate that made me change my mind. It was actually growing up and like learning about realism in the real world that changed my mind. But yeah, I actually held that view at one point, that it was more about nurture than it was nature. I thought there was a nature component, but I thought it was mainly about nurture.
I do think that there are some people when they're younger that are bisexual that find out they don't really want to suck a dick, and they just thought it was cool. I've known some people that in high school they said they were bisexual, and then later on in life they were like, "Yeah, you know what? Not bisexual at all." But it was
now the question is, I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume because it's one of those things with ambiguity again. The way you said that, you could easily be talking about women who are bisexual who realize they don't want to suck a dick and are just gay.
That's probably a thing that happens too.
I'm sure it is, but my assumption is that you were speaking of
I was talking
bisexual
about
men.
Yeah, I was talking about men.
But see, there's where that ambiguity lies, right?
That's true. It's true. I say everyone just sucks a dick.
Just so they know what it's like.
Just be Steve Bannon.
I mean, you can't you can't know you hate it until you do it, right? It's one of those.
That's true. How do you know?
That is true. You know, it's funny. I'm pretty open at things of like, you know, sexual encounters, sexual acts. I will try a bunch of things that a lot of people will be like, no, I would never try that, because you never really know. But it kind of stops because I have absolutely zero desire to be with another man in any way, and I don't fault anybody who wants to be. Like, that's fine, that's their prerogative, but I have such zero desire for it that I would never even put that in the thought process of, I'll just give it a try once. Like, but it's like, there's other things that other people
like. Just the thought of like kissing a guy, like, and all like the.
Oh, I've done that before for a bet.
I mean, okay, if you give me money, I could like do like a quick kiss, but I'm like, imagine like making out, like, just the thought of it, like the facial hair just grosses me out.
Yeah, facial hair in my opinion is also kind of gross, but it's because since I don't think about guys that way, I definitely think of what I'm attracted to does not involve facial hair. I'm not looking for like the bearded lady. It just doesn't like do it for me. But like, yeah, it's so. I don't remember what the point that we even started this conversation about sucking.
Well, you've triggered a thought in my mind, a point of argument that I've had with Co before. Do you believe
he wouldn't suck your penis and you really wanted to?
No, right. It was like, no, you just tasty. It's tasty penis.
Tasty penis. I dipped it in mints.
I've had no asparagus this week. Do you believe that people actually eat poo-poo?
Eat poo-poo?
Yeah.
Eat, and I like how you called it poo-poo.
Well, because I want to say eat the poo-poo.
You mean, define eat the poo-poo. Do you mean like going...
Like people that have like a scat fetish, that like, they're willing to like eat the poo-poo?
Like physically just take a chunk and eat it? Or
eat it.
You're not just talking about pleasuring the general region with your mouth.
No, not like a rim job. Like straight up getting your shit in your mouth and then swallowing it.
Like for pleasure? Do I think people do that, and not as in like somebody bet them and they were paid a bunch of money to do it? Because I'm sure that's happened.
Like Co refuses to believe it, but there's like a whole like it's called scat. Like there's a whole group of like, this is like a fetish that people have.
I can't imagine. So
it's the same as like golden showers.
I definitely don't refuse to believe it because I know there's such weird, ridiculous things out there. But I have such a big problem with it, and maybe it's just from the health perspective.
Right. That's why I wanted to ask you what you thought about it. Like, because it's got to be bad for you, right?
I mean, it's the human excrement is the body removing the waste product from the body, like I don't.
Should you get like so like, you know, you eat raw pork, you get salmonella, whatever. What do you get from poo-poo?
I mean, I'm sure it's laced with bacteria. Like, why do you think it's, like with babies, cleaning their bottoms, and you have to clean it up right, especially if they have, like, a little scratch or something on their bottom, because it can so easily infect. So it's just got to be, it's either laced with bacteria or it's got so much potential for bacteria to grow in it that it just, from a health perspective, I'm just like, oh, come on, no, that's terrible, because that's, like, so bad for you. But at the same time, there's been plenty of people that, I can't say I've known the people who were into getting, like, doing this, but I've known a few women who told me about guys whose request was that they drank their pee.
That's the golden shower one.
And, well, that's not a golden shower exactly. Golden shower is just getting peed on.
Yeah, just getting peed on. But I always imagine that when the getting peed on happens, like, it's in the mouth. I don't know why.
That you open your mouth. You just picture somebody sitting there going, right? It's like the under the shower faucet, you know, in the morning. I guess I don't do that, though. Do you open your mouth and go, like,
no, I guess I don't, actually. So maybe not.
And so, yeah, I definitely don't put those two together by any means. I also don't understand that. Like, I don't personally partake in that fetish. Like, the golden shower is something that I have any desire to have done to me.
It just seems so gross.
But
I have a hard time peeing in public in a urinal beside someone else. I can't imagine having to pee on someone.
But I was going to say that is something that I wouldn't be against trying to having done to me or doing to somebody else.
Yeah, no, I would not let someone pee on me, but if someone was like, I really, really can't get off unless you pee on me, I would probably pee on them at least once. But I don't think I could do it. I really don't. I think my penis would just be like, no, this is not a thing we're doing right now.
It'd honestly be really hard to do for a guy because of the way that the penis works. You can't both.
I don't think my dick would get erect when someone told me to pee on them.
Okay, so well then you possibly could do it, because if you can't both ejaculate and pee at the same time. The holes don't line up. Like, it's like physiology, the way it works. You can't do both. So that's why, like, morning wood is such a problem if you have to go to the bathroom, and you usually have to sit down because, you know, otherwise it goes everywhere. You ever seen the movie Me, Myself, and Irene?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Jim Carrey, and he gets up in the morning, and all of a sudden he's like starts to pee, and it's just shooting straight up in the air, and he's like, Irene, why am I peeing like I was up all night having sex? You know, it's because, like, that's a real thing. So I can imagine it being hard, but my assumption is, and maybe this is completely off base, if I think about the concept of a golden shower, my assumption is it's happening in the shower.
Well, right, because otherwise, where's all the pee going?
Well, and that's what I was going to say, because that's one of the reasons that's one of those things I'd be like, it wouldn't hurt to try. Let's see if it's something that's light. But if it was like, oh, no, I want you to stand up over top of the bed and do this, I'd be like, we're going to make way too much of a mess. Like, no, this is terrible.
That ruins your bed.
I have to sleep here tonight. Maybe if we go rent a hotel room or something, you know, maybe there'll be a possibility. It's what?
I said in Russia.
Yes, in Russia. The presidential suite. Oh, God. I wonder how true that is.
I don't believe that that's a thing.
I mean,
who knows anymore? Anything's possible.
I believe that is one of the more likely things. Just because I can see people being, like, especially somebody like Trump. He's kind of a sexual deviant. I can imagine him being into all sorts of weird, crazy off-the-wall stuff. So
he's supposedly a germaphobe, though.
Yeah, what is it about? So why are so many famous people germaphobes?
I don't know. They're afraid of dying.
Like,
they have to touch a lot of people.
But, like, so you become the president to not touch anybody? Like, Howie Mandel is like runs all these, you know, game shows or whatever, but you're a germaphobe? Yeah. How does that make any sense?
Did you know that they baggy up the president's poo-poo and whenever he's overseas?
Why?
So that foreign countries can't see if they're on any kind of medication or anything like that.
I did not know that. That seems...
Yeah, we collect the poop whenever we're...
Who does it?
The Secret Service.
Like, they literally walk into the bathroom after him. What if he accidentally flushes?
I don't know that I don't know how this works. I don't actually know, like, but I just know that's a thing. Can you imagine if it was your job to collect Donald Trump's shit?
I mean, as the American people, that kind of is our job. But that's a whole different story. That would be... You think that's in the job description? Or do you think they learn it, like, they go through, like, the training academy, and then they're like, oh, by the way, part of your job description is to hold on to people's shit? Like, at least as a nurse, I knew that was part of the job going into it.
Signed up for that.
But I would not have known that was part of the job of the Secret Service at all.
I wonder what all they do. Like, there's no telling what all kind of things that we wouldn't really think about that they were responsible for.
I'm sure there is. I used to know a Secret Service agent too. I never really talked to him. He wasn't like a close friend of mine, but it was my old a roommate of mine. She was dating this guy for a while, and he used to talk about, like, it was one time when something weird happened around the Capitol, because it was here in DC, and it was some, like, motorcycle guy who, like, tried to break through the front gates of the White House for whatever reason. And I remember him having to be late when he was coming over because they were dealing with that whole situation. So we talked about that situation for a little bit, but that was like the most in-depth I've ever gotten on talking to him about the Secret Service being there. But that would be kind of interesting to get, like, a more in-depth, like, an AMA for a Secret Service man.
There's probably, like, autobiographies from ex-Secret Service agents that talk about these sort of things.
Yeah, how
kind of
cleaning up poop is definitely never something I would thought would have been even close to their job role.
I've heard that they really hated the Clintons, honestly.
Really? Why's that?
Hillary does seem like someone that would be a straight up bitch, though. I don't know. She's just got that face to me. Like, I don't know her, so I can't really say.
Bitch face?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to stereotype her, but just from the look of her, I feel like she could just be a real hateful person.
I can definitely see that and agree with that.
I can't imagine what Bill went through over the whole Monica thing. You know what's so crazy is that Bill, whenever the investigation started into his impeachment over Whitewater, is that the right word? Is that the right with their real estate thing? Anyways, whatever it was, whenever it started, he had never even met Monica Lewinsky at that point.
Really?
Yeah. He slept with Monica Lewinsky while being investigated for other things, and then they ended up leading to Monica Lewinsky, and then he had lied under oath, and that's what they tried to impeach him over.
Yeah, if only it was actually, like, able to be impeached over lying under oath.
Well, it is. It's perjury. It's federal offense.
Yeah, you'd think, but isn't like you mean the oath in the middle of court, not like the oath of the president?
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like, there's so many different... You saw the news, like, today, and I don't want to get into it too much because obviously it's not a political channel by the time this, gets out there. It's probably long said and gone. But the whole thing with, Trump Jr. was, like, his statement that he made was actually written by Trump or coached by Trump or whatever, despite them during the investigation denying it and saying that he had nothing to do with it and all. It's just, like, more offenses every day that are... These offenses that I'm just like, now when is somebody going to step up to the plate and be like, yet all these Republican senators are coming forward and saying that Mueller needs to recuse himself from the investigation.
Only two. Only two people have said that.
But he's supposed to recuse himself from the investigation because they claim he's such good friends with Comey. Yet President Trump is so pissed off at Sessions for recusing himself from something he literally was in the middle of.
Well, they're supposed to protect him. He's the president.
It's asinine. They're supposed to protect the country, not the president. Like,
they need to be loyal to him.
Outward loyalty. What did he say? Like, absolute loyalty or whatever.
Right. Oh, absolute loyalty.
Fuck this guy, man. It's just like, it's such chaos.
I mean, you're an American, Jeff. You need to be absolutely loyal to our president.
Fuck our president. That's really like all I have to say right now is.
Oh man,
it's so ridiculous.
You're rile the people up.
That's fine. I can rile them up all I want. Oh, and by the way, and I have to do a little bit more research. Somebody also commented on how wrong I was about the net neutrality. discussion that we had a couple episodes ago?
In the discussion we had a better discussion off camera.
No, we did, but they said I was wrong for like a different reason. They said I was so wrong on net neutrality because Obama was trying everything in his power to oh my God, what do you call it? To not place net, to constrict what people were allowed to see on the internet. Like to
that's
make,
not true.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Wait, what? Like this guy's argument was that Obama was trying to do like completely the opposite of what net neutrality is. He was really trying to lock the internet down and only have certain things out there, and he was trying so hard to do it through his whole presidency. And I'm like, wait, what? Like this?
That's not true.
Not true at all. Yeah, yes, we definitely had a better discussion off camera about net neutrality to find out we were both right in our own ways with the, it's all about the terminology and all. Somebody else also did comment on it with a very well thought out and well like educated post on the whole Title II Act and all this stuff. So if you think I'm talking about you who talked about Title II, it wasn't you. It was somebody else whose comment was way off base about the Obama administration.
We have a lot of bells. Just want to say.
I know. I already did a couple loads of them, and then I had to get the equipment.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't like saying like you should be doing something. I'm just like
I heard the tone in your voice.
Field full.
I got you.
It'd be real nice if this field wasn't so.
Oh, hold your horses, or I'll pee on you.
You know, after being puked on, I think I could actually manage being peed on. I mean, I've been peed on before by like a dog. And I didn't. That was way more pleasant than whenever I was puked on. Puked on, I think, is the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me.
A lot of people actually say that in the nursing field, that the one thing that bodily fluid that they have a real problem handling is puke, versus anything else. Pee doesn't bother me at all. Like I actually went to a call this morning. Like I did at the. This is funny. Our ambulance went out on a call this morning at the fire station at 6:30. Our shift ends at 7, so that's always annoying when you have to go on like that last-minute call, but you know it's part of the job. And I was like, okay, I better get up and shower and get ready to go to work because I'm on the engine. So I jump in the shower, and I literally get all wet, lather myself up, and I hear there's a radio that you can hear in the bathroom, and I hear Ambulance 705, can you send our engine for manpower? And I was like, oh shit, rinse, like trying to rinse off as fast as I could in the shower because I knew our tones were about to drop. So luckily I had like a 30-second heads up on it, and I was still like, I ran down to the engine after I finally like threw some clothes on, like sopping wet. And everybody was like, oh yeah, we figured you were in the shower and that's why you weren't here yet. And I was like, as we're jumping in the engine to go. But it was for some guy who had a seizure, and he was in like a post-ictal state, and then he was really combative, so that's why they needed a manpower piece to help like with the combativeness to actually be able to safely get him into the ambulance. And he had pissed himself, which happens all the time, like with seizures and stuff, because you lose like control of your bodily fluids. So when he was coming around and getting so combative, the one thing I said is, guys, like, somebody go through a drawer, find me another pair of underwear for this guy, because his underwear are soaked. Let's change them, because I'm sure that's part of the reason, like, he's so combative right now, is he's coming around, he's, like, he's realizing he's wet and doesn't really have any idea what's happening, as well as just, like, a dignity thing, like, let's get this man something, which is definitely not something that EMTs normally would do for a patient. It's just not in their normal wheelhouse, but as a nurse, it's something I understand. So it was just like, in the spur of a moment for me, it was, okay, I'm now holding these, like, completely piss-soaked underwear in my hand. Granted, I have gloves on, but they're still, like, soaked. And that does not even bother me a bit. I didn't even think twice of it while doing it. And you could tell that some of our rookies that were in the house were, like, kind of looking at me like, oh, my God, he's just, like...
He's just holding it.
Doesn't care like that. It's like... Yeah, pee does not bother me too bad. Sometimes when it's really rank pee, though, that's bad, but mainly for the smell.
What makes pee rank? Just like
asparagus
or something? Well, yeah, that's true.
Certain medications can, just in general, old people. Old people
like
with
dehydration, you think?
Well, it's not necessarily just old people. It's more like these nursing home patients that we would get a lot, and it's mainly because they also have like the indwelling catheters all the time, and they usually have an infection when they come in from the nursing home. So it's like rank with like disgusting infection smell too, because a lot of nursing homes don't take care of them like they should.
So a friend of my grandma's got a UTI, and it made her a crazy person. Like
Yeah,
after they cured her of this UTI, she was sane again.
Yeah, infections can really fuck up the body, especially in the elderly. Like, you can attribute a lot of stuff to UTIs in elderly, like, nursing home patients.
I didn't know they could make you insane. I just thought they burned a little when you peed.
Nope, the body just works in a completely different way. You gotta remember, like, with elderly people, they just have less of an immune system as well. So it just affects them in completely different ways. But yeah, it can make people act just all sorts of crazy because the body is just in chaos.
It's really crazy.
Yep. Oh, medical field. You should become a nurse, Guude.
No, I could not.
Nurse Guude, I think you could do it.
There's no way. Like just taking care of family has been rough. There's no way. Like, it's hard enough whenever it's family.
Well, I'll admit I think I'm gonna have a hard time taking care of my family when it gets to the point where I'm gonna have to. I'd rather take care of people I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What's the difference?
There's something about, like, if I have to change my mom's or my dad's diapers in the future, or do that type of stuff to them, like, the child is not supposed to do that to the parent. That's supposed to be like that one-way street or the other way around, and I just think it's gonna be that I'll have a weird time dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not because of it's them. It's just because it's not because of, like, oh, like, my parents have this weird medical condition that I wouldn't be able to deal with. No, it's because, like, it's just that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's just I don't want to have to think about my parents that way either.
Yeah.
It's more of like an emotional. I would rather as this is a selfish, very selfish thing to say, and I don't really mean this in the way it's going to come out. I'd rather they die young and healthy as opposed to old and insane, because I don't want to remember them as old, insane, crazy people who didn't understand what the fuck was happening for the end of their life.
Right. Yeah, whenever my mom's mom got real sick, I was in the hospital. I kept not going. My mom never could understand. But, like, after spending, like, almost a year with my dad with cancer in and out of hospitals and stuff, like, that was, like, basically the last memory I had. And I decided I didn't want to have that for anyone else. And so, like, whenever she got to the point where it was pretty clear this was her final hospital trip, I didn't go see her any. And my mom always thought I was a terrible person for that. But it was just like, I just don't want that to be what I remember her as.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I remember when my grandmother died, and I was up at she was still in my grandpa's house in the bedroom where she had died at. Like, she was sick with cancer, like emphysema and all this stuff. So it was like it wasn't an unexpected thing. But all the family went to the house, and the coroner was going to take her the next day, but they were like having her there so that the family could come by and say goodbye to her if they wanted to, like, sit in the room, have their conversation, say their goodbye. I remember my dad asking me if I wanted to go in there and, like, say my goodbye, and I was like, nope. And he's like, yo, that's fine. You don't have to. Like, absolutely not, because, like, you need to remember her however you want to remember her. But it was because I didn't want to remember this lifeless body in the bed as my last memory of, like, oh, look, there's grandma dead doing nothing.
Right.
That's not what I wanted to remember.
Wanted a funeral for my aunt. She wanted to see her in the coffin, and I kind of wish we wouldn't have let her. Like, but she said she wanted to, so we let her. And then, like, she's like had nightmares after that, and like was like for months afraid to go play in her room by herself because she's like, aunt's gonna come by and attack and get me and stuff. And it's like, no, she's not. I think it was also because the preacher, like, during the service, he talked about how, like, we're going into the earth so that God can resurrect us someday and they'll walk again and all this. And she was like, she's going to walk again. Like, no,
she's coming back for me.
Yes. I mean, that was what the whole, like, sermon he gave, like, at the funeral was just like, but it's okay. She'll be back as a zombie.
You know that show, Walking Dead Kids?
Right?
Yeah, that's such a weird, like, I don't know, our whole concept of death in the American culture is so weird to me. I don't want to think of somebody being resurrected as somebody else. Like, if we get resurrected as somebody else but don't have any idea who the hell we were previously, what's the point of being resurrected as somebody else? Just be a new person.
Well, that's reincarnation, right?
Yeah, I guess it is. I was thinking when you said resurrection of, like, walking the earth again, that's what they were referring
like whenever
to.
After like whenever God returns and takes everyone off to heaven, and then someday we'll walk the earth again or something like that.
Why would we want to walk the earth again? Are we gonna kill this place by then?
No, it'll be. This is after the end times. Everything gets better.
How do we fix the ozone layer?
God,
Global warming and everything. Just snap the finger. It's all better.
Right. Yep.
Isn't it kind of like selfish of God not to be fixing it now?
Well, no. I mean, that'd be like saying like God should have put Job through everything he went through.
Yeah, I don't know what Job went through.
Oh, he went through all the problems.
I mean, probably not as many problems as Abel or Cain. I don't know which one killed who, but one of them killed the other.
Pretty sure it was Cain that killed Abel.
Okay. Abel went through some problems, and then you got that one dude who was gonna cut off his child's penis or whatever, or it's gonna kill him per God's direction because he was testing him. And you're like, what? Like, what kind of God tested like people to see if they would kill for him? Isn't that kind of fucked up?
All of them did, really. I think all the gods did a lot of testing.
Isn't that pretty fucked up? I will test you to see if you will murder for me, and then tell you thou shalt not murder. Yeah.
Well, you had free will. You could have not done it.
But then you're going against God, right?
I don't think he ever asked anyone to murder for him.
Yeah, wasn't that guy? What the hell was the guy's name? Abraham. Didn't he ask Abraham to murder his only son? And he brought him out to a field to like kill him or whatever. And right before he like killed him, God came back and was like, "I was testing you."
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to actually kill him.
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
Well, that's what you have. That's what free will is.
But it was a good thing that he was testing him and he was willing to do it for him. The guy didn't come back and be like, "I can't believe you were actually going to do that." He was like,
I don't remember.
No, he was like, you are my disciple and my follower because you were going to murder for me.
I don't know if I can believe you. I don't feel like you have this. I don't feel like you have a well-versed knowledge of the Bible.
I'm pretty confident I'm right about this one.
Yeah, I just don't remember. I'm gonna take your word for it, but I can't remember.
Do you know what Cain and Abel's other brother was named?
I don't.
See, I know that.
What is it?
His name was Seth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Adam and Eve had Cain, Abel, and Seth. And I think possibly others, but I'm not.
I should have known that, actually.
Yeah, but Seth apparently was just a terrible child, though, who didn't do anything to earn his way into the Bible. For anything other than his name is Seth.
I wonder how many people we've offended today.
I'm sure a lot.
Because we've covered quite a few topics.
So
I think this was the episode 2 where you said that homosexuality was a nurture thing.
It is. So guys, if we've offended you, hit that like button. So we know.
Hit the like button.
So,
for every like, we praise.
Yes, every like we try to change our ways and learn something different. Maybe through the golden showers or something. I don't know. We talked about a lot of random things today.
Well, I guess that's probably a good stopping point too.
Yep, sounds good. And all hail Abraham and his killing ways and gold showers, and the being the learned trait of homosexuality.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys.